Why has it taken so long to reopen UK airspace?
To get the right scientific advice, because you've got to make sure that people are safe and secure. We would never be forgiven if we'd let planes fly and there was a real danger to people's lives. We've had discussions with the manufacturers of planes, we've had discussion with the air safety authorities, and we've had to make sure that it's safe to fly in particular zones with a low level of ash, but not a complete absence of ash. And that was what the decision that was made yesterday enabled us to start flights again at 10 p.m. and will enable us to get people home. We were making contingency arrangements to get people through the Channel and to get people from Spain, but now it looks as if we can get lots of people now back. And I think you'll find that our airports are open longer to make that possible.
But where are those 100 coaches that you promised those people stranded abroad?
There are coaches for people in Spain if they need it, but most people will want to come back by the airline or the charter that they've already booked. And most airlines have a responsibility to get people back as quickly as possible. What we were looking at that time was how, if we couldn't open northern European airports, and that included all the ones here, we might have a southern airport that was a hub, but that will not be needed in the way it was in the past. What matters now is that people can get back as quickly as possible in an ordered way and know that they've got the right advice and that they're not going to lose out financially.
And how much of that decision was based on pressure from the commercial airlines?
No, I don't think it was. It was based on we've got the best meteorological office in Europe, really. And we provide information not just to Britain, but to the rest of Europe. And it's fascinating the work that they do. So they had to look at what was happening to the volcano. They had to look at how much ash was in the environment. Some of it was actually falling to the ground. So they had to send up test flights with the airlines to look at where and at what altitudes we were seeing these ash clouds making life very difficult. So a lot of work had to be done. Look, the first thing people will want to be sure of is if you fly in an airplane, that you know it's going to be safe. And that was the first responsibility of government, to make sure that safety was paramount.
Okay. Let's then look at matters concerning Wales specifically, if we can. It's nice to have you here this morning.
It's good to be here.
There has been some criticism, though. People are asking why perhaps it's taken you so long to come here. We're nearly 2 weeks. We are at 2 weeks into the campaign now. Nick Clegg has been to Wales twice. David Cameron's been here twice.
But look,
why haven't you?
You've seen me in Wales lots of times. I was in Wales only a few weeks before the election. I'm here yesterday, today, and for a bit of tomorrow. So I'm here for a longer period of time. And we had a cabinet in Wales. We had a cabinet in Cardiff at the Millennium Stadium. So we wanted to make sure that the cabinet would meet in Wales for the first time in history to show our commitment to Wales and to the people of Wales. And our commitment has always been that we'll work hard to create jobs in a country where we need work and we need employment. And therefore, obviously, the employment figures show how fragile the situation is, but we are seeing more jobs being created as a result of the work we're doing. And my concern is to make sure we have the jobs of the future, not just jobs for today, but the jobs of the future for young people. And my concern is we have the best public services, so health and schools and policing are nothing but the best.
Labour's always done very well in Wales. In the last election, you won 29 seats here. But a very recent YouGov ITV Wales opinion poll this week, in fact, puts you at around 33% in Wales, with the Lib Dems closing the gap and jumping ahead of the Conservatives and Plaid Cymru. Are you confident you'll do as well as you did in 2005? And is that not something of a tall order, given those figures?
Nobody is ever going to be complacent. Every single person here sitting in this room, as every citizen in Wales, has a vote. And I've got to argue my case, as Peter Hain, our Secretary of State for Wales, has to argue his case and persuade people that when it comes to getting through the recession and the recovery and jobs, we're best for the future. We've got to persuade people that we're best for the health service, best for schools, best for policing, and in particular that we're best to steer this economy through these new challenging times, get the new industries here, get the new services, get the apprenticeships, get the college and university places, and get the new jobs. And that is our job, to persuade people. You can never be complacent. It's our job to persuade you, and that's, I think, what an election is about.